Hi, I'm Carrie. This is Under Sisterhood, and this is a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. Our video today is tips if you live alone. So the first tip I want to say is consider getting a pet. Now, this isn't something to just run out and do with no time of thinking about it and not considering it, as pets are a huge commitment, a huge responsibility, a huge emotional responsibility, time responsibility, financial responsibility. So this isn't something to do because you want a pet in the short term. Remember, depending on what pet you get, this is a decade and more that you are responsible for another living creature, another living thing. If this feels right to you, pets can also be a wonderful source of comfort, of companionship. They help get you in a routine. They may scratch that nurturing itch that you might have. They help you meet new people. They can make you laugh, bring you a source of joy, give you purpose, help you get up in the morning sometimes, right? They can bring and create some real joy into your life, particularly if that's something that feels missing. Make sure you do your research, make sure you think about it, make sure you're in a position in order to be able to take care of a pet in the best possible way before you go jumping into this one though. Try to plan at least one social outing per week. Maybe this is going to the movies, going to the gym, going to a meetup. You're gonna go try something that you haven't done before, whether it's a class, a cooking class, a new exercise class, a book club. You're gonna go to the dog park. You're gonna go on a long walk. But plan at least one thing minimum that you have on your schedule that you've got to leave the house for and go do and go interact with other people. Even if it's just smiling to people as you're walking by. But get out there and do something that you want to do, but is also getting out there and meeting others or interacting with others. Have a routine. It can be really easy to neglect things around the house because there's nobody there to bother you about it. It's just you. And if you can tolerate it, then no big. And you will feel better if you do have a routine related to your home. Maybe it's a cleaning schedule, a budgeting schedule. You get up at a certain time each day. You go to bed at a certain time each day. These are the days that you work out. This is the time that you walk your dog. This is the day you grocery shop. Have a routine because that can help make things predictable for you, less anxious for you, and you know when each thing is going to get done. It can be something that you hold yourself accountable to. It doesn't mean that you don't have those days or weekends where you just do whatever the hell you want because you can, again, because there's no one to bother you about it, but make that the exception to the rule, right? Maybe you do that one weekend a month versus every weekend a month, or maybe you do that 2 days after work instead of all 5 days after work, if that's what your work schedule is. So get into a routine and put the things that need to happen and that you want to have happen in your schedule. Consider a meal delivery service. If you find yourself door dashing all the time, which hits your financial budget, if you don't like cooking, if you don't like grocery shopping, if you hate all the cleanup around it, think about a delivery service. This is something that I have put into my life. I like to tell myself that I like to cook and that I like to grocery shop. And at one point I really loved to give myself the illusion that I love to meal plan. But what I found is that I was tired after work and I just ended up door dashing and spending a ton of money that I didn't want to spend and eating the kinds of foods that I really wanted to eat, but that I shouldn't eat as consistently as I was. Meal delivery has been a complete game changer for me. I have one locally that I use that is fresh meals, high protein, so they're filling, well balanced. I put them in the microwave. I don't have a lot of cleanup. Is it more expensive than a grocery store? Yes. Is it more expensive than DoorDash? No, it's not. So sometimes the middle option turns out to be the best option. Am I spending more than a grocery store? Yes, but I am spending less than I thought, and I'm eating better. There's a lot of different delivery services out there. I particularly like the ones where they're not frozen meals, but they're not meals that I have to spend a lot of time doing things for. Some of them have a lot of really good variety too. So think about a meal service. The next tip is make sure you have a budget or a spending plan. When you're single, it can be really easy to overspend because you don't have that accountability partner that when you're in a relationship, a lot of people do. Sometimes loneliness causes us to overspend as well, and boredom, right? If we don't know what to do, sometimes spending money is the thing that helps us feel better in the moment. Because we're solo, it's really important that we understand that we are the ones that have got to save for our retirement. We are the ones that have to make sure the rent and the mortgage is paid. You'll feel better if you know that you have these things covered. And then when you know all of those responsibilities are taken care of, it frees you up then to spend the money how you want, to do some fun things. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to buy some toys that feel a little exorbitant. Have a budget, know where your money is going. There are lots of videos on YouTube and apps that you can use to help you get started. Always have something planned that you're looking forward to. Maybe it's a concert, a trip, trying a new restaurant, going to explore a new city, going to a new museum, having a weekend where you're gonna have no plans if you really like to do that. Make sure you have something that you can look forward to and get excited about. It's not even always the thing that you're actually doing, but sometimes the planning of it, the figuring out what you want to do, where you want to go, what you're going to wear, who you're going to be with or not be with. What do you want to make sure you get out of this experience? The planning around it can sometimes be just as fun as the actual thing, but it's important to have something to look forward to. The last tip that I have is make sure you put exercise as part of your routine. It doesn't have to be this like gym bunny thing where you're going too hard, too fast, it takes up all your time and you become obsessed with it. But exercise is helpful for not only our body, but our mind as well. Sometimes being single is lonely. Sometimes being lonely is depressing. Exercising can help keep our mind in a good place. It does not replace therapy or a psychiatrist if you need to do that, but it's absolutely a good adjunct. And oftentimes those people will want to make sure that you have some type of exercise routine, because as much as it can be annoying if you don't like to exercise, all those things that they say about exercise are true, and that they help you feel better physically, they help you feel better mentally, it helps keep you in a routine. You may feel like you look better, you may feel better just in general, but make sure you're exercising. The other thing that I like to say around this is exercise is also about weight training. Exercise also keeps you healthy for longer most of the time. Obviously, there are some illnesses and diseases that can come up out of the blue. And if you're having a solo life, staying mobile, physically mobile for as long as possible, staying healthy for as long as possible, at least in my world, feels really, really important. It's also cheaper. And when you're on your own in terms of finances, cheaper is better sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And so remember, make sure that you're exercising. Part of exercising, weight train. Sometimes women get a little scared off of weight training. Make sure that you look into that a little bit further if you're nervous about that, because weight training is what builds muscle, which is all those things that keep your brain healthy and keeps you more mobile for longer. There's a lot of really good information on the internet, particularly with women and weight training. Even women over 40 in weight training, there's also a lot of good Instagram accounts around that. So I can't emphasize it enough. If you do nothing else, in terms of the tips of this video, I really want you to consider exercise. It doesn't have to be something huge, but get out there, get your heart rate going for the cardio, and then also make sure that you're weight training, or strength training, I guess they call it, in order to help build that muscle to keep your body stronger for longer. What tips did I miss about solo living and living alone? Drop them in the comments below. and subscribe to Sondra Sisterhood for more videos for the single and childless, not by choice person.